Dave Rothschild back with another video. Today I wanted to talk to you about a couple of photography books that I picked up by the same photographer that I'm really inspired and excited about. And the photographer is Richard Misrach, and the books are Petrochemical America and Destroy This Memory. And I wanted to share both of the books because they're both wonderfully executed projects, but done in a very different way, especially how the images were captured. The first one, Petrochemical America, is a very large-scale project in which Richard explored what is known as Cancer Alley in Louisiana, between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, where there's a really high concentration of refineries and chemical plants. And in the book, we have landscapes and documentary images where he is showing the lifestyle around the communities that are close to these plants where the rate of cancer is really high, and he's showing the landscapes in an aesthetically beautiful way, but with a harsh reality alongside that. And what's really cool about the book is, besides the images themselves, which are, you can tell, were meticulously composed and captured, there's a section in the second half of the book where you can get further information about not only where the images were taken along his route, but how the chemical plants and refineries affect the environment in a very, very systematic way. It's discussed, and there's a lot of things to learn about ecology, about human interaction with nature and environmentalism that you could spend literally months learning about and researching. And you can a lot of the books have notes and connotations, a lot of the images have connotations next to them where you can then find further research in the back. And you can also see at the beginning of the book where every image was taken. There's a corresponding number next to each image, and you can look at this map and see where the photographer made the image. So to me, it's a really kind of a closer look at his process in much, much more detail, and it really kind of fills in sometimes the gaps the viewer has in their mind with how a photographer and where a photographer actually made the work. So this is, I think, takes away some of that mystery and makes it more intriguing. I mean, you could literally go to this exact location and look at the images in the book and find the exact location and see how it looks today, which is really a really cool idea. So this is the first one, Petrochemical America. And not coincidentally, the second book, Destroy This Memory, was also all the images were made in Louisiana, in this case New Orleans, and post-Katrina. And it's essentially, it's much more conceptual than Petrochemical America, in that the entire motif throughout the book is the things that people spray painted on their property in their house in reaction to and after the aftermath of Katrina. And it's what's really interesting about this book, whereas Petrochemical America was made with a large format camera, this one and the prints are even bigger in terms of the book, which is interesting in that it was all made on a 5 megapixel digital little point and shoot that originally the photographer carried with him just to kind of take notes about where he was, but he found the collection of images so striking, and you can see why when you look through the book, that he decided to make it a project. And it's a perfect example of how, when you have a collection of work that's so strewn together by a narrative, it really doesn't matter how it was captured. And this was probably the perfect medium to capture it, because you're dealing with raw emotion and just after the fact that this tragedy took place. And so it was just, there was so much to capture. Something as quick and raw as a digital point and shoot was probably the perfect device for it. And again, it's 5 megapixels. The prints are absolutely massive. The book flips open, so everything is in landscape orientation, but it's nice how it flips open. And it's one of those books that really kind of tugs on the emotional heartstrings. The other one does too, but this one, you know, you're really, because the images are so big, you're really drawn into the scene, and you feel just the overwhelming rawness and sadness associated with that disaster with Hurricane Katrina. And there's a little bit of a range of emotion in the book as well, because some of the images give you hope and strength that the people are showing with what they're writing. Some of the images even have a little bit of humor associated with them, and I'm not going to show the whole book, obviously, but anyway, 2 books, amazing photographs, just an amazing dedication and execution of 2 different projects in different ways. And once again, it's Richard Misrach. He has some more recent projects as well on the wall on the border of the United States in the Southwest, and that's interesting as well, so I encourage you to check that out. So, yep, that's it. Destroy this memory. Sorry for the bad language, and I'll see you next time.